So when I heard the news that Luka Doncic had actually been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for just Anthony Davis, a first-round draft pick in 2029, and Max Christie, I thought, well, clearly somebody had actually hacked Shams' account. I mean, Shams even went ahead and retweeted that this was 100% true. What were the Dallas Mavericks thinking? Now, their general manager, Nico Harrison, has actually done a really good job with this Dallas Mavericks team, at least until last night when he pulled the trigger on a unexplainable trade. You have to remember that if you talk about the top 5 players in the NBA right now, it usually starts and ends with, of course, the Joker, but everything else after that includes Luka Doncic in everybody's top 5 list. I don't care if Luka Doncic is dribbling down the basketball court, smoking a cigarette, weighing 350 pounds. I would never trade Luka Doncic for just one first-round draft pick. I mean, how many first-round draft picks did the New York Knicks ultimately have to give up to bring Mikal Bridges into their team? Look, this is definitely going to go down in history as the most shocking NBA trade of all time. We are going to discuss this today on the NBA Rundown. All right, new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hey, if you like the video, go ahead and like it as well. So I'm going to try to piece everything together because a deal like this doesn't happen in the NBA without a bunch of other teams actually having the opportunity to actually trade for a star player. In other words, the fact that nobody outside of the Los Angeles Lakers, Utah Jazz, that Danny Ainge is always involved in these big trades in one way or another, isn't he? And the Dallas Mavericks, it appears no other teams actually got the call that Rob Pelinka actually got from the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks and one Nico Harrison. Can you imagine Rob Pelinka when he gets the call from Nico Harrison and Nico's like, hey, Rob, we'd like to talk about sending Luka Doncic to you. Rob Pelinka probably follows up with, okay, that sounds good. Is this really Nico Harrison calling me? How do we verify that this is actually Nico Harrison? So they switch from a regular phone call to an actual Zoom call so that Rob can actually identify that it is really Nico Harrison and not some fancy AI program actually talking to him. Look, this is just one of the scenarios and how this all probably went down. But for Nico Harrison then to only accept one first-round draft pick from the Los Angeles Lakers makes absolutely no sense. If you were done with Luka for whatever reason, and I think what we're ultimately going to hear today and through the next couple days is the real reason why the Dallas Mavericks wanted to move off of Luka, and I think it has everything to do with the fact that Luka weighs a little bit too much, that Luka struggles to actually put himself in good condition. Look, we did a video last night on Jokic, and I can tell you at no point have I ever thought Jokic actually looks like he's actually in any kind of real condition. It's just the kind of player he is. He always looks out of shape. Look, in terms of Luka, rumors are that his weight was up to 270 pounds and was definitely struggling to bring it down, and that the Dallas Mavericks organization was upset about that. Look, at the end of the day, just check out what Luka did last year. He took a bunch of average players and then, of course, Kyrie, and he took them all the way to the NBA Finals. From a Los Angeles Laker perspective, as somebody that basically grew up in LA, I can tell you I was there for the Magic Johnson, Kareem years. I was there for the Kobe, Shaq years before I made the big move up to Northern California to spend some time with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, I can confidently tell you that the Lakers fans around the world are actually throwing a street party right now, because the Lakers seem to be the only team that can pull off these kind of unexpected deals and bring a franchise set-up player like Luka Doncic, who's just 25, turns 26 in February, and certainly has another 7 or 8 great years in front of him. Yes, we can talk about the weight issues and the conditioning and all of that stuff another day. But if you want to talk about a team that has the highest ticket prices in the NBA and needs to have a superstar, an heir apparent to LeBron James when LeBron James actually hangs up his basketball shoes officially, then this certainly was a great move for the Los Angeles Lakers. The heir apparent has been chosen, and it only costs them Anthony Davis and a first-round draft pick in 2029. And, of course, Max Christie. Now, I don't want to downgrade Anthony Davis too much. I think Anthony Davis has meant a lot to this Los Angeles Laker team. I love how AD was playing this year. I love how he played last year, and we know about the injuries. But I absolutely love Anthony Davis as a player. So from a short-term perspective, this might be a good move for the Dallas Mavericks. And none of us will complain if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan if somehow the Dallas Mavericks actually won the NBA title this year with Anthony Davis. All of the complaints about Luka Doncic ending up in a Los Angeles Laker purple and gold uniform would be over. But that's probably not going to happen. And what the Los Angeles Lakers did absolutely has shocked me and has shocked the rest of the NBA community at this point. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are actually on this deal going down. I don't think this is a question of who won the trade. Did the Lakers win the trade, or did the Dallas Mavericks win the trade? Look, I have Anthony Davis as like from a 10th to 15th best player in the NBA today. And while I love what AD does, Luka Doncic proved to everybody last year with some role players, he can actually take you all the way to the NBA Finals. No disrespect to Kyrie Irving, who doesn't fit into that role player scenario. But I mean, seriously, he took them all the way to the Western Conference Finals with a bunch of role players before Kyrie got there. Look, Luka is the real deal. Luka will become one of LA's biggest superstars overnight. Yes, there's Shohei Ohtani in baseball, and then in football, well, you've got a couple great players there. But LA is really a basketball town. The Los Angeles Lakers, despite the efforts of the Clippers, they could have built a $10 billion stadium, and it wouldn't matter. They're still going to be the ugly stepchild of the Los Angeles Lakers. So for a franchise to actually pull this off, to set themselves up for a post-LeBron era with one of the best basketball players in the world in Luka Doncic, makes absolutely no sense that Nico Harrison, who, by the way, has done a really nice job as a general manager with this Dallas Mavericks team, this just happens to be one of the worst, if not the worst trade in the history of the NBA. If you are a Dallas Mavericks fan and you woke up to this morning, you are probably just absolutely shaking your head. And the reason you're doing that isn't so much just because they traded Luka. It's because they traded Luka from a draft pick perspective and a player perspective outside of Anthony Davis. And, you know, Max Christie is decent enough. but they basically traded away the franchise for one first-round draft pick in 2029. And ask yourself this question: how good are the Lakers actually going to be in 2029? If you had asked me that 3 days ago, I would have said probably pretty bad, because I had no idea that they were actually going to have the opportunity to actually pull off a Luka Doncic trade. Now, it's clear as water is wet that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to struggle on defense. But that's not what this is about. This is about putting people in the stands at the old Staples Center, the current Crypt.com Center. This is about actually continuing the Lakers' legacy. And every time we think that the Los Angeles Lakers' legacy is going to fade, or at least fade away for a significant amount of time, it doesn't happen. Look, this is just an unbelievable trade for the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, I don't know how it's all going to actually pan out and look with LeBron and Luka there. Hey, maybe there's a LeBron to the Golden State Warriors trade back on the table now. Who knows? We'll have to see how this all plays out. I'm certainly looking forward to hopefully seeing LeBron and Luka play together. We saw what LeBron did at Madison Square Garden last night. He was just absolutely fantastic, and you could tell that he was up for that game. He wanted the Los Angeles Lakers to win that game. The team over at ESPN on NBA Countdown, all four of them picked the Knicks to actually win that game. What they didn't consider was the greatness of LeBron James, even at the age of 40. Now imagine actually getting something. I'm not saying Luka's as good as LeBron, but he's a step or two below LeBron. But you know, at this stage of LeBron's career, LeBron has proven he can play any position on the court. And with a player like Luka, it is just going to be must-see TV. And it already was with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now it's going to be even more of a must-see TV every time Luka and LeBron have the opportunity to lace up their shoes. Finally tonight, I certainly would love to get into a room with Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison. I'd love to know what Rob thought when he actually pulled the deal off. I wonder if Nico Harrison actually said to Rob, no, it's going to take 2 first-round draft picks to get this deal done. And then Rob's like, no, it just doesn't do it. He's like, I'm going to hold my ground on this. Like, Rob Pelinka has those kind of balls, so to speak, to actually do something like that. But I, for the life of me, do not understand why Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks organization did not open this up to all the other NBA teams, because I certainly believe that the Dallas Mavericks, if they had officially put Luka Doncic on the trading block, could have walked away with 4, maybe 5 first-round draft picks from a bunch of other teams. It seems as if they made a decision to trade him and wanted the secrecy of the trade to outweigh what they were actually getting back in return. I think also the Dallas Mavericks organization, for whatever reason, now believes if they have Anthony Davis added to this particular lineup, that they can actually go all the way this year. Those are the only reasonable explanations I could even attempt to make for this particular deal. All right, love to know your thoughts and opinions. I swear Rob Pelinka's like, no, I'm not giving 2 first rounds. Screw that. I would have loved to have been on that call. All right, for the NBA Rundown, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.